McCall, Michael Stevens, Kip Kissinger. Kissinger, the third of the three, with Stevens and McCall. Congratulations to them for their efforts throughout the tournament and regular season. Getting the assignment here as we get set to tip it. The last time each of these programs won a national championship, they beat the other on the way to the title that year. Tip controlled by Kansas.
And right now, Jim Nance, Grant Hill. The catch go. Ball screen high-low.
I want to see the matchup inside all night. Spellman versus Azubuike. Who can win that matchup? They play a big role in this game's outcome.
Right away as Azubuike takes it to the rack.
He has that good left hand as well. Good start for them. Little power game.
And on the other side for Villanova, Spellman so good on the perimeter, can shoot. Azubuike, does he have the mobility to stay with him on the offensive end?
And I think it's key how Graham and Brunson play. They play within themselves. They look for the post up early.
They can't get caught up in the individual matchup. They got to do what they do best, lead their team.
There's that pick and pop you mentioned.
Here's Spellman with 4 to shoot. Booth back outside. Spellman with 1. And check his movement. Yep. He boxed out Pascal. Graham wanted to take off with it. Cut off.
And going to power again, and nobody helping.
Azubuike off the blocks. Back to the rim. Spellman says, I'll have it.
Keep that opportunity all game. Villanova going to stay home with shooters.
Brunson's first shot is long. A chance to reload. No, a set up corner. And that three is good. Haskell.
And Jim, that kid has worked on his shot. Early in the year, he was a struggle. So much confidence and a good dish to find him.
This is an extraordinary team from three-point land, Villanova. Kansas isn't bad. That's Newman.
So he got a lot of free looks against Duke with the zone. He's going to be attached to it. I'm not teasing you on that comment either. It just so happened that he cut beautifully.
He really did. Smart right here, Villanova. Get Azubuike in screen and roll. 2 years ago, he was a role player, but how he has improved the confidence from the perimeter, shooting the basketball, Bridges early on, knocking it down.
Ended up walking on that particular play, but you're right. Big time. His ability to stroke it, the baseline drive, everybody collapses, takes a peek. Get those puppies organized. Big time.
Role player, but Bill Self will be the first to tell you that Bridges, when these two met in the regional final in Louisville, we were there. Bridges came up with some big defensive plays in the closing minutes. There's a huge X factor. Pascal.
That's their ISO at the elbow. They like to run.
Brunson finds a seam, dribbles out of the paint.
He does a great job establishing his pivot foot.
Spellman, he's got a three.
Can't get out there on him. That's the difference. You want to use power at one end, you'll pay at the other with that little pick and pop from Cleveland. Stroking it big time.
Captivating exteriors.
So tough. You sneak a peek, you don't see your man in the corner, and they do a great job of replacing. Here's the patience on the cutter, the pass, and all of a sudden, Udoka, who's counting the house on the rim, pays for it.
And Raft, all tournament, they have just been shooting lights out. Obviously, in that regional final, still able to win. But right now, the first 5 field goal attempts have all been threes for Villanova, and 3 different Wildcats with a three. It'll be a long night if Kansas keeps continuing to give up these threes.
Yeah, Kansas had the opening bucket from Azubuike, but since that time, 9 unanswered. And Mikhailuk is called for the charge.
How about this kid, Brunson? He was playing the big dope. Azubuike in that 3-second lane and willing to step in. Here he fronts. Now he reads, steps over. Terrific presentation. And this is why they can switch automatically on the perimeter. They're unabashed about guarding bigger as they harass the passer and get great weak side coverage.
Brunson with Graham on him. somehow way off balance. An awkward-looking shot, but it drops.
He is so good in that box area. Plus, you've got to stay at home on the perimeter people because he'll find them. Automatic switching. Once again, they're staying at home on a good shooter like Newman.
Graham driving in, and he's able to bank it home.
He is tough at the rim, this kid. Knows how to finish.
Breaks the 11-point run by Villanova. Brunson able to set up Spellman. He's got another three.
And they just called out.
Yeah. I'm saying set up indeed, Jim. Just that penetration, the help, the open man, knocking down threes. That was made by Jalen Brunson, though.
Look at the hands, making yourself bigger.
Booth, traffic, back outside. Brunson. Head fake to the paint, back out. Spellman, can he do it for a third time? Pascal.
Boy, are they alert. And again, the ability to shoot it softly. Zabuki just can't get out and cover. What a bang at the rim.
And Kansas has its biggest deficit of the tournament, down 12.
Look at the automatic switch, not afraid.
And again, it's taken away by Bridges.
Boy, are they alert on both ends, Jim. Unbelievable.
He can post up a double team coming.
How about you double team the 6-foot point guard?
And Booth wants into the act.
I think right here, Kansas, they got to get out in transition. Just some easy baskets before the defense sets.
Vic gets his first handle. Off on the shot. All Villanova underneath.
And Spellman with a great check out. Got to relax Kansas, run a little action, go side to side. They love that weave action. Maybe go to that just to move these defenders around.
Brunson. And Graham knock it out of his hands. It'll be Villanova ball coming out of the break. What a start, though. This sums it up. They've done it outside, and they beat it to the basket on the follow-up. For team-centric coverage, you can check out the Villanova Teamcast on True TV or the Kansas Teamcast on TNT. Jay Wright and his team off to an electrifying start. His third Final Four since 2009. DiVincenzo is coming in to the lineup here along with Gillespie for the Wildcats.
And they had injuries which enable guys to get a lot better, a lot more time. Another roll back into deeper rotation. He's the confident stroker, DiVincenzo. How about that?
Right off the bench.
Goodness. He's looking for a hot hors d'oeuvre early.
How about 5 threes already? The next one they make will set the all-time NCAA single-season record for most threes in a season. They're one away. Azubuike was the first move of the game that dropped about this time.
And again, force him just a little bit wide.
What's been alarming for Kansas defensively, the open three-pointers they're giving to Villanova. They got to do a better job guarding the three-point line.
Now look at Doak. Doak's lost already, which he doesn't want to come out and guard him.
Maybe DeSosu comes in, a little bit more mobility, can guard Spellman out there on the perimeter.
They trying to get it down low. Stolen away. Graham with a reach-in coming. Gillespie with the foul.
A little too much distance. Spellman on that bounce pass.
And now some subs. DeSosa, you've been calling for him. He's on the floor along with Garrett as Bill Self seeks some answers.
Get a little rhythm on this end. That's key.
Newman, Gario, another charge.
How about that? Are they in position and alert?
And it's all about the details, as Jay Wright says, coming over for the help side, sacrificing their body, unlike what I did in the first game with Mo Wagner. Taking the charge. That's winning basketball right there.
You can't afford another injury, though.
No more surgeries.
Yeah. This is where you get back into if you're Kansas, though. Be alert, handle and hug that ball screen, particularly Let's go on the floor now. He's going to be the 5-man. Look at him roll to the rim.
Kicks a corner. 3-point shot. There it is.
Thank you,
New single season record in college basketball belongs to Villanova. Most threes in a year.
When they shoot it, say goodnight.
They broke the BMI record of 2007. Man, are they on target here tonight. 22-4. Talk about 20-plus and 15-plus rebounds in a semifinal game. Michigan, by the way, winning in that spot for the 7th consecutive time in a national semifinal game.
Now they got another. They got it here. Giveaway. They've been Roundtree.
Cosby Roundtree is called for that foul.
And you know the early leads. Don't get comfortable if you're Villanova. Think about it. I mean, you got to keep your concentration, keep after it. And Kansas just scratch back a little bit here.
Kansas just has to chip away here, not get it all at one time. And that guy Newman has been so big in this postseason, unable to convert right there. But there's a lot of basketball left.
And what a look he got, right? I mean, it's run your stuff, run your action. Quicks.
Spellman comes back out. Kansas only 2 out of 7 shooting so far. Meanwhile, Villanova 6 out of 10 from 3 alone. Here's Garrett.
Trying to duck in on Garrett. Garrett on Brunson. Empty side.
Newman. Taking it inside and doesn't go. Stays at this end.
And that's okay. The 2 possessions here, Newman's had some good looks, good opportunities. It will come. Law percentages will average out for him, getting to the rim. And
well, they clued in on this end of it, though, huh?
Well, it looked like the Sosa
right.
might have hit him. Yeah.
Nice slice.
Sosa. And there was a whistle on the shot.
You're right about the speed of DeSosa, though. He can do a little more things on both ends of the floor. Cover, particularly on Spellman's pops.
Pascal called for his first. Silvio DeSosa from Angola. Graduated from high school in December and finally got clearance from the NCAA certification in January. Didn't play a game until January 13th. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today.
Kansas not one of those teams that gets up and after you. They'll do a little 2-3 zone. Like, hey, there we go. All right.
You called the wrap.
Yeah.
You have 5 shooters out there for Villanova, so you must have your head on a swivel, communicate, and be paranoid defensively.
Brunson. Bounce outside, and it's off Bridges, who's helped to his feet by his teammates. Villanova already with 2 11-0 runs in this game.
I get paranoid being on the road with you. This is on the defensive end. A little 2-3, not a bad change, don't you think? Make them think a little bit. They had some rhythm, Villanova. Ramp shot.
Tipped up and in by DeSosa.
That's what he can do. Speed to the rim. Slowly you creep back in. Big thing, offensive rebounding now.
Number 3 attempt. That's Bridges.
2 empty trips.
They've attempted 12 from 3, 2 from 2. Garrett in the lane. Too strong.
And look at Spellman. Big time. He is a heck of a rebounder.
See, ever he reached up and over. Now Nova quick to move it at this end.
Usually 2 hands when Spellman gets it too.
Villanova, you got to run your stuff. Continue to execute against this zone, not one pass and shoot.
Spellman. Long rebound.
No balls into the lane. No dribble drives in the lane.
Newman.
Nice pass.
Dishes. DeSosa taps his own miss. He makes it.
And Kansas now starting to make this run here, but it's all been with their defense. The zone has thrown Villanova off. They're not attacking. Kansas, they are attacking on offense.
They've scored 5 unanswered.
You have to penetrate this zone with a pass or a drive. You just can't pass around the perimeter and settle. You must stay aggressive offensively.
He does that so well.
Brunson wanted that whistle. He looked around. Bridges, no.
Really struggling now against that zone. What a clever move by Bill.
Off the glass. Oh, he soars and scores.
And a quick timeout.
Yep, after seven unanswered by the Jayhawks.
How about the spin on this layup just to make sure? Tough angle. What a sweet kiss for the Jayhawks. Back in it.
The search was intense. We spent weeks.
The Nets.
Well, they switched defenses. It's actually a 7-point run. There was a free throw, and then they went down, set up defensively, going away from the man-to-man.
Kansas right now, they starting to get a little bit of rhythm. 5 field goals made, but no assists. That means it's a lot of one-on-one play. See if Villanova can make some adjustments defensively to Kansas.
And they're not moving again. Villanova has a propensity to not cut and present themselves against this pressure defense. West Virginia, for example, a good look here, but this one they make. Pascal again on fire.
They had missed their last 4 shots before that one. Pascal, by the way, 3 for 3 from the field, including a couple of triples.
Nice backdoor.
Vic is on the board for the Jayhawks.
That's what Graham can do. Real good understanding. They're starting to look pretty good at the offensive end. Now this will contain Brunson somewhat on that dribble drive.
Booth got it. They keep knocking down threes.
And that's important. That guy, Phil Booth, has struggled a bit, averaged 15 points 2 years ago in the Final Four. He's got to play big here against this Kansas team.
Pretty good defender, too. Here's the hesitation. 3? Yep.
Newman able to go out near midcourt. Newman.
Pretty good maneuver against a heck of a defensive player. And then you got to handle Spellman at the end.
And once again, it's a lot of one-on-one play right now for Kansas.
Going back to man, it looks like. A little triangle look they like to run. Empty side and a late ball screen.
Brunson.
Always under control.
Got Vic on him. Gets the pass to the far corner. And Bridges hits another one.
And I love how Brunson, he accepted that double team. Great patience and poise, finding his partner in the corner for the three-pointer.
Nine triples now made by the Wildcats. Garrett spins, banks it to Sosa.
Little hit on the release.
Spellman.
Now this baseline pass too, they got the head turn on Graham, enables that little step in. And talking about his improvement, that shot has just become magical.
Not sure I've ever seen a team come out and hit so many threes so quickly.
That's amazing. But when they can put you away quickly, that's what's amazing about them.
Bleacher Report's original animated series, Game of Zones, is returning for the playoffs. Watch Game of Zones only on the free Bleacher Report app.
There are games where you're right there and all of a sudden you get 3 threes. It goes from 1 point to 10. And it's just amazing.
De Sosa off the bench with 7 of the Jayhawks 17.
And here comes Spellman's impact as check out.
As Michigan.
Wolverines, huh?
Yeah. Get a little peek at this game. Try to scout a possible opponent. One of these two, we'll see them Monday night.
And just as you mentioned, Jim, those threes by Villanova. This is Spellman's time now with the dope back on the floor. He's got to stay wide, get involved in ball screens.
It's like Villanova doesn't run sets. They have philosophies out there, and they have that guy.
That's my philosophy.
Oh, wow.
He didn't have much space, did he?
He doesn't need much room to get it off.
How about this? He becomes the 7th different Nova player to hit a triple. 7th.
Jay's got a triple crested on.
I'm not sure I could have played for Jay Wright.
I think he would have found a way.
Graham.
Like the lob on this one.
Look at Spellman. And it comes back to him.
This kid is going to be something. Don't talk much about him. What a nice look.
Gillespie. Zabuki. Release. Mikhailuk, who's been quiet. Newman quick with the shot, and it's a three.
And that's his spot in transition. We saw a lot of that last week against Duke, getting out to that corner, trying to implore his team to get back into this game, but they got to get stops against this Wildcat offense.
That is the first three attempted, so the first three of the game for the Jayhawks. Brunson misses on the two.
This is where Kansas is deadly in the open court.
He's taking over now.
It's swatted out of bounds.
So Spellman taking over. Great assistance and help from Bridges.
How about Villanova attempted 18 threes before Kansas attempted one?
How about that? And
Wow.
Converted them on a high rate, too.
Dove Men Plus Care.
And stronger. The Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
A full moon over the Alamo City, and let's experience every side of March Madness with Intel True View.
And Jim, this play embodies Villanova basketball. Great spacing, great awareness, unselfish, leads to an open, easy corner jump shot for Villanova. 10 for 18 from the three-point line, 9 assists. 7 players with made three-point field goals tonight. I mean, just been truly spectacular. 18 three-point attempts. And we still have 7 minutes left in the first half.
That's called sharing the wealth, something I would like to see from our partner.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, which partner?
I can't disinvite him to my party tonight, can I?
You can do whatever you want.
On the floor with it. Somehow back to Newman. We love Graham. As Graham did it. And Gillespie secures it for the Wildcats.
Nice scramble defense. Still got an open look, KU. You can see Bill doesn't like that 2-3, but I'm figuring he's going to save that baby second half if they have some problems.
They're committing to double teaming Jalen Brunson in that post. Villanova's best post player on the offensive end.
With one to shoot.
They got walk before. Well, that's vintage Villanova getting into that lane and establishing a pivot foot.
And what's impressive, when the clock gets down low, they don't lose.
Oh, no, never panic.
Keep their poise, and great play right there. Yeah, he did.
He hopped a little off that left, right?
Yeah.
Crosby Roundtree back on the floor. 6'8" freshman from Philadelphia.
It's spelling a little bit of a blow, too.
Right now, Kansas, just be solid, execute.
Awesome bookie. Fed by Mikhailuk.
And a nice read right away. No, Spellman was off the floor. Mikhailuk's made 2 nice passes. The one for the 3 for Newman and that one.
And Kansas, they're in good shape. Down 12 here, 5:46 left. Just trying to get it under 10 going into the halftime, but you got to get stops. And, of course, execute offensively.
That's the second assist for Mikhailuk. He has not attempted a shot. Brunson at the other end. Another 3.
Well, I think I'd take away the top of the key. Forget the post-up.
Just double teaming when he catches the ball.
Can you remember any 6-foot guy being doubled?
Graham.
There you go.
He's got one back for the Jayhawks.
He's a gamer, that kid. He's trying to cajole his teammates into getting some stops down this end.
Oh, you know he's feeling it now.
Wow.
He just drew as a bookie, teasing the big fella.
Oh, man.
Raining threes. 12 out of 20 as a team. Graham. To Vic.
He just knew he had size, huh?
Great patience. Got to the spot, elevated. Nice young player right there, Vic. Defensively right here, just 12 three-point field goals. I mean, it's right now Jalen Brunson's in the cheat code mode.
They're amazing how they can control pace, too. He's taking a little rest now on this trip. Oh, that's been stolen. They got numbers.
looking for another assist. Up to Graham. And he's going to head to the line.
Good foul, though.
Bigger rap battles, bigger burns. Method Man and Haley Baldwin host the TBS original series, Drop the Mic. Sounds like some rap should be part of. Dropped his glasses, stepped on in the first game.
Very tough day, very depressing.
Graham hits the first. Foul was on DiVincenzo, his first. As Bridges and Spellman return to the floor for Coach Jay Wright.
Give Brunson a little bit of a blow. Occasionally he does so much, you got to give him a few minutes on the pines.
How many times have we seen a team come out so hot and get seduced into continuing to shoot the ball from the perimeter and not just do the little things? So, Villanova's in control, but they have to continue to play good basketball. Kansas in striking distance right now, down 12.
DiVincenzo takes over the point when Brunson runs out. You also got a handler in Booth. They love to break it down. Everybody's ready to be a threat.
DiVincenzo.
Nice extra pass.
Kicks it out. Booth.
How about that? What did Jay say to you about Booth?
He could be the X factor.
He just thinks he's ready to blossom after all those injuries.
Broken hand during the season. Of course, huge 2 years ago at the championship game. Mikhailuk finally gets off a shot. His first attempt of the night. Talking about a 15-point-a-game scorer. Ace just can't get any work at the offensive end.
Villanova shortens the game, too, when they have to.
DiVincenzo.
Look at this rebound.
There's Booth.
Quicker with the ball.
Outside, Spellman. Graham off the floor with it. Mikhailuk. Blocked from behind. Look, coming down the floor at that play.
How about that effort?
By Bridges.
That's what the Cats are all about. Hanging tough, making big plays, contributing to a solid game.
AT&T gives you more for your thing. Your getting serious thing. That moving out of the friend zone, moving in together, and getting two of everything thing. Those fur babies preparing you for...
From 2, but 13 out of 23 from 3. Absolutely astonishing what they've done here in the first half.
And Jim, 7 guys have hit threes, 5 have hit multiple three-pointers here in the first half. And this team right here, when they get a rhythm going, they feed off of one another, and that's Villanova basketball. But 13 three-pointers made.
This is an amazing stat. Of course, the three-point shot came into play, Raft, in 1987. Remember that?
I do.
Billy Donovan and Rick Pitino's
Pitino embraced it.
They embraced it right away. They have already matched any Final Four game for most threes in a game with 13. We still have...
We got 23 minutes left.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Here we were worried about shooting in the dome.
Yes. So much for your philosophy there. Nice slip. Go up strong.
Gonna take it soon. Let's make the most out of it, they say.
That kid has blossomed. Amazing. Not really running anything again. See if they help him help.
Sosa.
He's out of bounds.
Yes, he is.
Boy, what a solid defensive play. But you've done a few of these.
And Coach, he heard you down low. He just had to gather himself and going up with that amazing, powerful jam right there. That's off the vertical. You're right. This kid is loaded with talent and potential. He is the future of this team, but he is playing big right now.
And Azubuike comes in to try to somehow contain him.
And this is a danger time right now for Kansas. Villanova, one of the best teams at closing out the first half. Jalen Brunson back in the game. All things going for the Wildcats.
There's Booth.
Nice check out. Everybody back in balance, though. Try not to give anything easy.
Big slip. Got it outside to Graham. Kansas has had good closeouts to the first half in 3 tournament games.
And they used the ball screen, going over the top, but no show in the back there.
And certainly used one tonight. A late flurry before the half, like they did against Penn, like they did against Seton Hall, like they did against Clemson in the Sweet 16. Close out the first half.
Overload one way.
Spellman.
Can't make it two.
Unless he dunks it.
Oh, not a good job. I thought he made it, but
That was just let me get a shot up here. I haven't touched it in a while. For Villanova, they keep running that screen and roll action. Spellman getting opportunities.
Loves that fake handoff.
Brunson circles around, finally gets free for the shot with that soft touch.
And I love how he's just able to draw a little bit of contact, get a little bit of separation.
Get the balance, right?
Exactly.
Graham again quick.
Over the other way. Azubuike, when you get tired, you use the body check and not the athleticism.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, EJ, Greg, and the guys. First half analysis and a look back at Michigan's win over Loyola Chicago as the Wolverines advance to Monday night's national championship game. All that coming up on AT&T at the half. First foul, by the way, on Azubuike. Just 40 seconds to go.
And Raph, those last two possessions for Kansas, just coming down, jacking up a deep three with being guarded. You're not going to get back into this game playing that kind of basketball.
I don't think they'll do 2 for 1.
Well, quick shot. Brunson bounces out.
He actually misses.
Yeah, they may get a chance. He is amazing, this kid. Such a heady player, great connection with Jay on the sideline. They dress a little better, too.
Going to graduate in 3 years. Amazing. Just an amazing kid. Now, 3-second differential. Let's see. Graham.
Nice job. And he's done that twice now, different ways. They got to push. They got a chance.
Booth looks up. He knows he's got a chance to give it up to Bridges.
How about that? Get a good one.
Would have been fitting if another 3 had fallen.
Oh, appropriate.
It's the most points Kansas has allowed in the first half this season.
Impressive.
13 out of 26, 50% from 3. And Jay Wright, he's got to be a happy camper right now. Tracy's with.
Throw them off a little bit offensively. He said we might see it again here in the second half, Jim.
Well, Villanova has been running right through the Big 12 in this tournament. You know,
It's amazing.
this is the third straight opponent out of the Big 12 after wins against West Virginia and Texas Tech in the regional. And now up 15 as the second half is underway in San Antonio.
Set the tone on this end of the floor if you're Kansas. Not afraid to play deep, as noted earlier.
Brunson. And the Jayhawks with a stop and a lob and no basket but a foul. He was shoved. Mikhailuk will shoot a pair. Want to see shot charts? Villanova, look at this.
Wow. Unbelievable. Just amazing.
That is unbelievable.
And you made a great point. A lot of them were open.
Yeah.
I mean, they are great shooters, but you get out there and contest, close out properly.
And that last possession, Jalen Brunson took that 3. It was contested. So maybe Bill Self getting his guys to make that adjustment here in the second half.
Mikhailuk, a senior. He set Kansas's single season mark for most makes from three-point land. He hasn't made one tonight, though, from 3.
And step it up again, extend the floor. Trying to instill some energy, I think, is what Bill is doing.
Villanova, they are so well coached, though, prepared for anything defensively that was thrown at them.
Careful on the dribble handoff. Occasionally, Spellman will foul.
Now Booth slices to the basket, and Azubuike rejects it with 4 to shoot.
Oh, what a killer. What a killer.
He hasn't missed. He hasn't missed. 4 for 4.
That was actually a great defensive possession right there, but
wow.
Nice setup to go there. Spellman trying to front, no weak side help. They lift everybody.
Just when you think you stop him, you make the big block, and then Pascal knocks it down anyway.
And Jim, that was from like the same sort of area of the court where Chris Jenkins 2 years ago knocked down that deep three-point shot. But these guys, man, they're just putting on a shooting clinic, and it's continued here in the second half.
Of course, that one gives them the all-time Final Four record with number 14. Most threes in a game at the Final Four. Now belongs to Villanova. Graham cradles and has it rejected. And speaking of Chris Jenkins, there he is. Says, no. Get that out of there.
Arch.
Well, right there, that block by Spellman, and he had to learn how to play defense, Jay Wright, as the clock's at 6 for Kansas. And he's done a great job with this shot blocking here for the Villanova Wildcats.
Graham, not in time.
Oh, they got a foul, but that's after the...
I think it was after.
They got a violation first.
Yeah, it's definitely
Michael
expired on him too quickly before the foul.
Michael Stevens on top of it. Full self. I don't blame him for asking as well.
It was close, but I think it was the right call.
Jayhawk Nation got dazed early in this one, seeing their team fall behind 22-4. But trying to fight and make some sort of dent in that double-digit lead, but Villanova just keeps on firing threes.
Much more intense defensively, though.
Here's another one.
Sure.
Spellman. Azubuike clears.
Not waiting for Azubuike. He didn't make half court.
Luke.
See, I think they got to get him involved. I mean, you can always get that jack.
They got to get it off a dribble penetration, draw and kick, moving the ball side to side.
And he's got to get down the floor, too.
Brunson just dribbled right around, away from the defenders, and finally give it up as they work it around, and that's going the other way. That's on Pascal, knocking down Luke. Wow, that's his second.
I thought he was moving on that particular play, but they're much more intense. Once you extend the arm, I'm sure that's what they saw. But everybody breaks you down with Villanova, so there's no easy out. You can't slough off and always be in position. Mismatch on the box now. Bridges on.
On the run, comes up short also. DiVincenzo. That fake. Swooping shot that drops.
How about a little lingerie on the deck on that one? Delaware. What did Delaware on that one? The offense on the move, Azubuike.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think, Jim, right?
It is.
Frustration setting in right now, but on this last play, DiVincenzo in the open court. I don't know what kind of move that was, but I tell you, there's a reason why they call him the Michael Jordan of Delaware.
He does have some hops as well. He improves so much with his ball handling skills and knockdown jumpers.
6th man of the year in the Big East.
Played well when Booth was out. Started a few games and got a lot of confidence.
Pascal. Russell Vick.
Late coverage and patience at the rim.
And now they
this is not
up
the
to 20, the biggest lead of the game. Azubuike.
And I think Kansas just got to continue to go inside. Maybe some inside-out action. Nothing else working offensively.
I don't think it's going to back out from Azubuike, though.
That's true.
I haven't touched it enough.
As first field goal,
you don't leave the ball.
Brunson.
Look at this rebound weak side.
Pascal beating Azubuike to the ball.
They got to take him out. He just can't go up and down. Leg injuries.
Graham, separation. Wow. Hanks home a 3.
You know he's going to continue to compete. Great competitor, Big 12 player of the year. You know, As a senior down big, you just want to continue to play hard. It's about pride right now, really.
You want to continue to play. A flat 1-4 with a ball screen.
There's Booth. Here's Pascal. Pascal.
They get a piece of that 3-second lane. They own Kansas right now.
He's got 18, top for the Wildcats.
How about this kid?
Yeah, he's knocked down 2 straight.
Big time competitor, Bill Cajoli, trying to get his kids involved on this end of the floor.
16 for Graham. He's got 3 of the 4 Jayhawk triples.
With that last possession for Villanova, Pascal in the corner. Azubuike can't get out there. Not accustomed to guarding guys that can shoot.
He's fatigued. They got Pascal on the outside again.
Bridges.
Look at this.
And Azubuike hands it off here to Newman.
Take a little run down.
Graham for 3 in a row.
The run when you show it. Don't. It's very patient.
It's amazing for a team that scores so much. They don't run a lot.
DiVincenzo. It's his second from out there tonight.
Look, this one. Goodness.
Wow.
Newman hasn't had really many touches. Nice job by Bridges defensively.
Newman wants to take on Booth. Trying to lob it. And a reach in on Booth. How about Pascal? He's 7 out of 8 from the field.
Big fella. Josh Hart left. He makes the big rebounds. And now he's making the big tray big time. Woo! You're on fire, big fella.
Yes.
And you see the Tower of the Americas. San Antonio in the middle of its tricentennial year. And next weekend, that tower and hemisphere will turn 50 years old in this great city. And what a host city it is. It's been 10 years since the last time the Final Four gathered here. This is the 4th time overall. It is truly one of the best to ever attend the Final Four as far as a city and a hosting site. Newman rattles home the first free throw. You're watching the national broadcast on TBS, and for team-centric coverage, check out the Villanova Teamcast on True TV or the Kansas Teamcast on TNT.
And Jim, we talk about the lost art of the mid-range game. Villanova has not made a single mid-range shot tonight. 23 field goals, 16 of them threes, and 7 in the paint.
Oh, DiVincenzo at the last moment gives it up. Spellman another 3. I'll tell you something else they haven't made. They haven't made a free throw because they haven't taken one. How about that?
Well, you've got to be near the basket to get fouled.
That's it. No free throws. 17 from 3. Forget the freeze. Give me the threes. Iluk gets hacked.
I think Gillespie down underneath gets the foul. How about this? Almost a little slice at the basketball. Nice recovery by DiVincenzo. And the big fella really dominating because he's been able to step outside. Azubuike not able to cover him deep, although he's resting out.
Iluk from Cherkasy, Ukraine. His parents are educators. His father is a college professor. His mother a high school teacher. And they got in here on Friday. They traveled all the way from Ukraine. Azubuike's mother made her way from Nigeria. It's one of the things that I think was really great a few years ago, where the parents were given the funding to be able to come and watch the kids play in the Final Four. The NCAA changed that.
I don't think they had mind they were going to come that far, though.
Yeah.
It is great. We talked about that. And a lot of people in positions they couldn't go here on their own or get here.
That is Udoka Azubuike's mother.
I read her lips. She said, Bill Self, get him in.
Hey, let's hear what actually she is thinking. Tracy has more.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. You mentioned it. Azubuike just thrilled his mother could be here. She got here at midnight last night. He went to the airport to greet her. He hasn't seen her in 6 years. Just a thrilling moment for him, and I'm sure a very emotional day for him as well.
Isn't that amazing? 6 years, he's at the airport. midnight to see her. He came over, played high school ball in Jacksonville, second year at Kansas, and Jayhawks just can't hit from the outside. Nothing like what we're seeing at the other end.
This is shocking to me. You two agree? I thought this would be as competitive a game as we could look for.
I'm with you on that, Raph. Once again, okay, they missed.
Get him out of the game. He's killing you.
Oh, what's been impressive, even with this lead, they're playing the game, not the score. They're just continuing to compete. Villanova, the details on defense, every possession matters. DiVincenzo tries to take a charge.
They're going to say block.
But the effort has been impressive, along with the three-point shooting.
DiVincenzo in position there. A little bit of a slide, maybe slight. That would be an argument, I think, if it were a closer game.
Looked like Wendell Carter's charge.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, the 32 points that Newman, who comes to the line, that he put up against Duke, that was the most by a Jayhawk in an Elite Eight game or later, meaning Elite Eight, Final Four, or National Championship game by any Jayhawk since Wilt Chamberlain. Wow. Back in 1957. Wow. And again, 13 of his 32 came in overtime.
I would have guessed Danny Manning, right?
He was the only one.
Yeah.
He was the only KU player to score in overtime. That's elite company right there.
And of course, Wilt, a Philly product, got his 100 points in Hershey, PA.
Yep.
I had a couple of friends on the bench. They weren't happy about passing to him either.
Chenzo was back out with it.
They're very good dribbling into traffic, making good decisions. If you turn to help, you're so unselfish. Here's the drag.
And Spellman. And it's going to Kansas. I mean, they raced off to a start here at 22-4. Minute control since shortly after the opening tip. Awesome display here tonight in San Antonio by Villanova.
Introducing the new 2018 Ford F-150 with best-in-class
peak form, and Tiger coming back, and Phil and Rory off recent wins, and Jason Day, and many others. Bubba Watson with his 2 recent wins. On and on. Full coverage coming up next week. Amen Corner 15 and 16 featured groups, Masters Live. See it all at CBS Sports app, CBSSports.com, Masters.com.
I thought it was because Grant Hill was going to be there. Was anticipated?
The first fairway, CBS Hospitality Suite next Thursday.
Well, this team won't go away, I don't think. They'll play till the end. McKillick with a little pull-up. And again, the pressure. Get them to cough it up. But there's so many handlers and decision-makers. Oh, my goodness.
Back to
How good is that? The patience, the control, the pivot foot. And then you compliment your partner with a dive to the tin.
Luke, he hits a 3.
And I like that three-pointer from Luke. Not coming down, jacking like we saw a few minutes ago. As it looks as though Booth is hobbling a little bit. Might have landed weird on that ankle.
Let's hope not. You know, the knee too, remember?
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, that was last year.
Struggled with injuries.
It's really an injury that he played with at the end of 16.
That's right.
And then had to address it after the championship and hobbled him through the 2017 season.
They will take a quick shot if it's real good. One of those pass up a good shot for a great shot. Clubs.
You see a lot of them during the regular season, Coach, but this is their patience, their discipline.
You know the word we haven't used at all? We both agree. Toughness.
Yeah.
Haskell. What a game he's having. Now up to 20.
It's amazing you talk about toughness. Azubuike with the fantastic alley-oop finish.
That's one of their pet plays with that empty side. And you step up a little, the roll guy doesn't get covered adequately.
But you see Jay Wright in those $5,000 suits. You don't think of toughness with his team.
He wore the same suits at Hofstra.
I hope he packed two.
Look at this find.
DiVincenzo.
You can't leave the shooters. That's what makes it so tough. So if you don't contain the bounce, have it.
Newman driving in. And he was hacked. Now, what happened to Phil Booth?
Check it out right here, going for the checkout.
Oh, that little collision there. Ooh, landed on that.
Yeah, right foot, right leg. And buckled for a moment.
Coming back, though.
Yep.
Spellman with a little nick at the rim there. That's his third.
Newman at the line. And Newman and Brunson, the only two players back in the 2015 McDonald's High School All-America game who made it to the Final Four this year.
How about that?
They competed against each other. Of course, Newman, after high school, stayed in his home state of Mississippi, followed in his father's footsteps at Mississippi State, where his father had made first team all SEC in the late 90s one year, averaging 17 a game, and then transferred after an 11-point average as a freshman, set out last year with the Jayhawks.
He has had an impressive postseason run, struggling a bit here tonight along with his team, but majors in mass communication, wants to be a broadcaster.
Watch out.
Better watch my job.
This is a tough spot to get it in. Pretty should have fronted there. Graham.
I think he might be occupied for the next dozen years or so doing something else.
I would think so.
Got a lot of runway in front of him.
Yes, he does.
How about this leadership, though? Both guards, Graham on a team that's struggling but still trying to provide a lift. And just doesn't cover his guy in the corner.
Brunson, that shot looked like it was going down. All right, and Kansas faithful for a moment. Exert a little energy, passion. They think maybe something happened on this trip. Get a momentum change.
Yeah, they do. All of a sudden.
Down to 14.
Way to go. A couple of mistakes you're in. See, they just don't screen or move.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. You've got to get position and step to the ball. I've seen this happen. Marquette game earlier in the year. Of course, West Virginia, the other team, they gave a little bit of problems with the pressure.
So the largest lead was 22 not that long ago. It's 67-45, and they've taken 8 off of that with a 12-4 stretch. 3 would be timely.
This is a big trip, I think.
Newman, anything would be timely.
Tough shot.
Everybody checked out. Spellman with a great retrieve.
Brunson speeds past him. DeSouza blocked it on the far side of the rim, but Brunson was knocked to the floor. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com.
Jim Grant and I were talking. He's quicker than he looks, Brunson, and he's strong. Just a nice little explosion to turn that corner, create the problem.
Well, it took 31 minutes and 12 seconds of action, and Villanova is finally going to shoot a free throw.
Incredible. And you're making all those big ones deep.
But you're right, Raph. His change of pace, his ability to use his body, shield the defender, doesn't explode above the rim, but just has a great feel, really truly knows how to play the game. And that was on display there, that last play.
%. So see him miss those.
He's got 14 for the game to go with 4 assists. As everybody at Villanova has contributed to this cause. Garrett steps back, fires up an awful looking 3 on that occasion.
That's not what he does. Pascal played off him, dared him to shoot it.
Yeah, they know him.
They know their scouting report.
He's good at stepping and going and driving. They're going to use clock. And very comfortable late.
Haskell. Can't miss. Cannot miss.
I think that was a mid-range shot there.
Yeah.
That's 9 out of 10 from the field.
Players went out to speak to him.
Villanova now on a 1-3-1, mixing it up a little.
Garrett fires up another. DeSouza, offensive glass. And points off Spellman. Under 8. And Villanova continues to cruise and dominate. And the story continues to be the way Villanova's performing on both ends of the floor, but 16 assists, 17 threes. Pascal with the most points he scored at Villanova. Now, he had a 31-point game when he was at Fordham as a freshman, but this is his Wildcat high.
Of course, he was coached by Tommy Pecora at Fordham, who was a former assistant to Jay. And when Tommy left, all of a sudden, the advantage to Villanova. He wanted to play at this kind of a level. Boy, has he done a great job. Nice denial here. Tommy now assistant at Quinnipiac with Baker Dunleavy, who was at Villanova for a number of years. You've heard that name before, Dunleavy?
Yeah, I know that guy. Did he go to 2001 NCAA champion?
Which school?
Here's Mikhailuk.
Once again, everything contested. Pascal just sliding his feet, contesting and not fouling. Going to struggle all night offensively for these Jayhawks.
And this will be a short 7:30 the way they milk it. Remember, in a hurry, they can always have the dribble drive weapon on the perimeter. Ooh. On the 4.
Pascal in time.
They're not going to check it. They are.
I think it's away in time.
And Jay Wright is upset at Booth for not getting involved earlier. He calls his mainstay over. Tell you, he and Brunson have great conversations.
That was close right there, Raph.
It's off the hand.
Pascal right there.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it was pretty close, huh?
Fractions, but that's got to count.
I think that counts.
It's interesting, the dialogue, and Jay mentioned the three of us that he has with Brunson, or Brunson has with him. You know, he's so cerebral about the game, been around it his whole life, been in NBA locker rooms with his dad.
I played against his dad at Temple on those great John Chaney coach teams, and Aaron McKee, Eddie Jones. And with all due respect to Rick Brunson, Jalen's better. I'm sorry, Rick, you're my guy, but Jalen.
He's content with that.
Yeah, oh, no question.
And he's helped him become what he is today.
Yes, he has.
A lot of hard work. What do you think here, guys?
I think it counts.
Yeah, I think so, too.
For the way he shoots, he's 4 out of 5 from 3, 10 of 11 overall. It's hard to believe that Pascal actually started the year 1 out of 27 from 3.
That's what I mean. Early, then he got to 3, and we're stuck on 3 goals, 2, 3 threes, you know. But just hard work, confidence. Oh, they want to wipe it out.
They'll wave it off.
Wow.
Tell you what.
Look at this. I think it's still on the fingertips, they say. They come over, point to us, say it was on the fingertips. So
I used to have an answer when I was coaching. Well, what can they do to take advantage of it now? They're just knocking around here.
Well, they missed the last 5 shots, so they've had some trips.
Look at this steal, and a foul to give away. Look at these guys.
Look at all
they got a 3-point
players come over and help him to his feet. That is a statement right there on its own.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you see a lot of programs that there's something special, and this kid is something special too.
And you're not surprised by that. The guys going over to pick him up, their leader, their player of the year. If you saw their practice and the way they execute and practice, the spirit, the togetherness, everything has a purpose. You're not surprised when you see that kind of teamwork there.
How about the exactness of some of the things they practice?
Every time they're on the floor with or without a coach, it's to break you down. It's fundamental. Free throw shooting on a miss, they slap it back. Just amazing detail. Just not a good-looking guy with a suit, huh? Ooh, little got the foul.
I think Azubuike got him on the great ball fake there by Spellman. Azubuike got caught
with his third.
But you're right. I mean, just the details were, I mean, I've been to a lot of practices with you guys. I don't know if I've seen one more impressive than a Jay Wright practice.
He comes in, gives you a little hello, blow by. You know? In fact, the suits, I don't think George Clooney can afford the suits that he wears. Just look alike, they say.
Tapped up. And another whistle at this end.
DiVincenzo with that Tavern League discard in his back.
Newman this time. All these testimonials are delivering for Coach Wright. As you see, Bill Self just went into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame last September. But in Wright's case, he's a week away from receiving the John Wooden Award, Legends of Coaching Award.
And Chris Jalen will be out there with him too, I think, with Devontae Graham and others in terms of the Wooden Award. But Bill Self, a lot of people feel this may be his best coaching job. They don't have the high-low game they always had. They don't have the depth and size they always had. And yet here he is, once again, wins the Big 12.
Here's Graham. Not close.
Are you shocked? I mean, I just can't get over this.
Yeah, I'm totally surprised here. I thought this would be a closer game, but Villanova from really that first possession just came out lights out.
Look at this cut on time. Will turnover, but nice look by Spellman.
By the way, on Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time, coverage begins.
Well, all the precincts aren't in yet, are they?
That's on TBS. Michigan already set. Kansas gets the basket underneath by Vic. First basket in over 3 minutes. Luke with the assist.
And you can just see now they're really not into pressure on the ball. In some ways, they feel it's over. And he says he loves that little hesitant. Look at this give.
Bring it out, big fella. They drew 2 defenders away from the basket. And Spellman was just waiting for Brunson to find him. Timeout, Kansas.
All game, but just totally made that play for his teammate right there. Always probing, eyes open, sees the floor, makes the right play for the Wildcats.
Haven't made a 3 for 8 minutes. Haven't needed to take one from out there as Vic scores at the other end.
They got a little speed team out there now. Really stepping. I think Bill talked to them. Hey, let's have some dignity here. Remember a couple moments ago saying they were a little daisical?
A 14-point game. Every time Kansas gets close, Villanova has an answer.
So Booth gets back into action. If some of you missed it earlier, a little gimpy, landed awkwardly. He's fine.
5 guys that can beat you on the bounce. That's the one of the nice defense.
That was Vic, and that will go to Kansas off the arrow.
Good job. That was a good trip.
Bill Self, who had one of his mentors, Larry Brown, here with him all week in San Antonio. What a shot by that. Was at the top of the backboard.
He can finish around that rim. What's interesting with Larry Brown,
of course, used to coach right here in San Antonio. Coached Kansas to a championship in '88.
And a big Jay Wright guy, too, because nice ball. Look at that.
Wow.
He has eyes, as they say, in the back of his head.
Graham.
That was pretty. Can you recall anybody that would get in the lane and establish post position like that?
Not at 6'1", 6'2". A player like that who just can post, can pass, can shoot, does it all. He's also a scholar athlete as well.
Oh, DiVincenzo.
That's 18. Right? 18 threes? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, 18 out of 38.
And what do they need for the most made this year?
One more. Free throws coming up out of the under 4.
DirecTV Now gives you more for your thing. Your letting go thing. You're sorry, not sorry thing. You're out with the old, in with the new, on to bigger.
He's a Hall of Famer. He'll be inducted here in a few months. And on the same day, he creates a Hall of Fame Mimi.
That is lack of courage under fire.
Totally.
Oh, man.
How about you, Bill?
God, that's
Look at you, Bill. Come on now. Not quite as bad as me.
that was the reaction of girls I dated in high school when they looked at me. Oh, that was incredible. We could have got hurt.
We could, and Mo Wagner could.
He could have got hurt.
Yes.
This table could have collapsed.
That's true. But think of it. He's going to make a lot of money. We could technically, if anything happens to us, get after him later in life.
Yeah, right.
You're always scared.
Raft, are you doing a little man-to-man there on Mo when he was heading your way?
I was looking for a little triangle and two.
Oh, man.
Congratulations again, Grant. And your
But that's great.
fellow class members, Jerry Colangelo here to introduce the class today.
It was unbelievable, Jim. Festivities yesterday, this morning.
His mom was here, too.
My mother was here. My wife was here as well. And to be able to go in with people I respect and admire, and some of my colleagues, Jason Kidd, played at Cal.
Rod Thorne.
Steve Nash. Just an unbelievable night. That was almost ruined by Wagner.
Are they going to let this go?
Nobody more deserving, though, of that award, by the way.
Thank you.
We're also happy for you.
I mean, the longevity of your NBA career, but what you did at the college level with 3 Final Fours, 2 championships. Great ambassador for the game. Here it is. On the other end, Pascal with 2 more.
They look so good. Distributing the basketball. Boy, folks, this is the way the game should be played, the way they're passing to one another.
That's Lightfoot trying to get up and tap it home. Back to Villanova. Brunson. Ooh, that one got out of his hands.
The only mistake Brunson made.
The ball doesn't hit the floor if you're open, though. They get rid of it.
Garrett, who was the Texas High School Player of the Year last year. Newman driving in. Draws the contact. Coming up next on TBS, it's Inside March Madness presented by Buick. Well, Bill Self was in the class ahead of you. And you mentioned Larry Brown. We talked about Larry, and Larry was his presenter. One of the great stories, too, because Bill was playing his college career at Oklahoma State, and he went to a summer camp at Kansas, a Larry Brown camp. And he didn't blow out a knee, but he injured it severely enough it pretty much hampered the rest of his college career that he had left. And Larry Brown, feeling badly about it, said, "What can I do for you? I'll do anything." He says, "When I get done, I'd like to have a GA job with you, a grad assistant job." And he did. Larry gave it to him. And that was his start into coaching.
A little home run look here. That is wonderful when you think of it, though.
Wow, how about that? Bill's pass all the way down to Bridges.
Bill's starting with a guy who's a brilliant tactician. Think of it, the Ibis-Sutton connection as well. Real class act, too.
And look at Jay Wright, still out there coaching.
Should be something else Monday night. TBS, the championship game. It'll be Michigan and Villanova. As Brunson comes in for 2 more. What a move right around the Kansas defense.
And Lightfoot just...
He was not Lightfoot.
He was not light at all. He's taking advantage.
There's Spellman still pulling him down with 2 hands. Brunson again going in, and he'll get another chance for a 3-point play at the line.
With that right hand as well. You know, you remember the championship game when it ended? And the reaction of Jay Wright, Jim? And he went to Roy Williams, and after everybody wondered why weren't you like jumping? And he said, "I thought of Roy Williams at the end of the game. You know, what he's going through." And I think you're going to see the same thing here. There's so much respect between these 2 guys. And the whole coaching fraternity for Bill Self as well.
Spellman goes out, 15 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, the second closest on the rebounding Ledger is DiVincenzo with 8. So Brunson, 80%. He's missed a couple free throws tonight. We got to get him to practice tomorrow.
Get 100 up tomorrow.
Newman. And it's Brunson with a board.
What's amazing about what Jay Wright has done, he has an atmosphere, a culture where guys get better. They commit to him as Booth misses from downtown. Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson didn't have great Final Fours in terms of numbers. It was about Archer Diacono and Chris Jenkins. They came back. They've gotten better. They're here now and playing big on the biggest stage here at the Final Four.
Design.
This game. Led by 15 at the half. They've kept the margin in double digits for the final 36 minutes.
And Jim, if you get Villanova playing like this, you've got no shot. Absolutely no shot. Isn't that amazing there? The worst loss, 18 points.
It was in the 1940 championship game to Indiana.
Hard time getting there.
That was the second championship. Of course, it all began in 1939 with the Oregon 12 Furs taking the title and the game played in Evanston, Illinois. And give Booth 2 points. Grant cradles and scores.
He'll keep playing.
How about Villanova 2 years ago wins the championship about 190 miles east of here on, well, you take I-10 to Houston. Got to make one turn basically.
One of your homes too.
Yeah, then to get on the 610 and if land there at the stadium on the south side, and you could complete a little Texas two-step here Monday night.
How about that?
No, win a second title in 3 years in the Lone Star State.
And what does that do to him in his professional career when you think of it, Jay? Elevates him into some special spot.
He'll be joining Grant one day in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I'm busy in September, though. I'm sorry I won't be able to go there.
Jay Wright, so impressive what he has done. And if he were to pull off something amazing on Monday night, you're right. He'll be in that rarefied air of some of the greats.
Hey, Bill Self putting in some subs. Let's give him a shout out. Clay Young, who's a senior walk-on. He actually played a lot of minutes in a key game early in the year against Syracuse. Chris Tehan, whose brother Connor played in 2 Final Fours for the Jayhawks, and James Szynski, who's played tight end on the Kansas football team. So they get in the books.
Saw that hug over there. One of the great players. One of the careers had alongside Frank Mason last year.
Yeah.
This year put this team on his shoulder, and I know Bill appreciates all his efforts.
DiVincenzo coming out. Denny Grace comes in for him. Tim Delaney's taking the floor for the Wildcats. Well, you can call them the Big 12 champs, I guess. Villanova, after what they've done 3 straight now through the Big 12 to get to the title game.
So it reminds me of Syracuse when they won.
Look at Szynski hit a shot.
Well, nobody from Villanova can shoot the ball. I know that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we'll have a great matchup Monday night. I can't wait, guys.
7 o'clock coverage starts on TBS.
Jim, when you think of it, Jim, John Beeline will have his club ready.
No question. A virtuoso Villanova performance to put them into the championship game.